Hey everyone, welcome to our webinar. We're going to give it another minute or two for folks to join. In the meanwhile, if you want to chat in where you're from or a really funny joke in the meanwhile while we wait, that'll be fun. Give it a minute. We'll get started in about 2:03.
Thanks, Bobby. Looks like we have over 100 folks right now. It's great. Lots of familiar names out there in the list. Hey, Don, how are you?
If somebody by the name of Adam Holt on here, I don't know who that is. Good to see everyone. Joyce is on here. Some familiar faces, familiar people.
See Benny. Yep, Joyce. Keena. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Okay, so while we wait for a few more folks to get started to join, I think we'll just go over a few kind of housekeeping items. Most of you, of course, attended 100 webinars this year and last year. But for those of you maybe new to GoToWebinar, if you don't use this platform, you're going to see an area at the bottom to ask and chat in questions. While we're going to have everybody on mute for this webinar, there will be plenty of opportunity to ask questions as we go. We actually have Brad Janicki from our customer success department here and Jordan from our product team also on the call. So if you have questions about what you're seeing, chat them in. We're also going to have plenty of time for Q&A towards the end as well. So we have kind of sectioned out time. If you want to just kind of hang out and sit back and watch and just ask your questions at the end, you certainly can do that as well. So give me one moment here and then we're going to rock and roll. Okay. All right, so we actually have a pretty quick agenda today. Actually, you know what? I didn't do an introduction. Those two faces up there. I think it's important you know who we are first. My name is Bobby Lalvani. I am the Vice President of Customer Success here at AssetMap. Take it away, Don.
Hi, and I'm Don Tinneny. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the head of product at AssetMap.
Nice and easy. Nice, quick introductions. So now that you know who we are, let's jump into the agenda real quick. As I mentioned, it's a pretty short agenda. I just wanted to kind of mention a few items about kind of the process that led us here and some of the decisions that we made, how you helped us get us here as well. And then, of course, the reason that you're all here today is to get the kind of sneak peek of the new UX, and that's what Don is going to help us out with today from product. So just kind of diving right in, getting to where we are was not, it was a kind of large effort that took not only Don's team and my team and then all of AssetMap, but it took something. We have a phrase at AssetMap that we talk a lot about and we use called being intentional. And I'm going to couple that with something else that we hear a lot, which is lifting all boats. And I think if we were intentionally lifting all boats, we did that in a way by not only expanding my team and bringing me onto the company and having a kind of a focus on customer success, expanding the product team as well. But when you kind of make those investments into the company, we're really making an investment in you, our users, our customers. And what we doing, having that kind of intentionality of doing that from the AssetMap side allowed us to really kind of connect the pieces of not only our kind of internal departments, but also kind of the feedback and really what drives financial professionals today. So as you guys know, in this environment, you guys are leading with advice. You really want to be able to deliver advice faster, more efficiently. You're kind of always presenting. You're in this kind of presenting mode at all times. So really what helped us get here is, certainly we did a lot of work, but I like to say that it was you. Our community really spoke to us. Our community helped drive not only our roadmap, but this concept that we're going to hear a lot in today's webinar about speed and being fast and delivering advice more efficiently and quicker. Now, we also developed a new kind of beta program over the past few months. This was a combination of a lot of folks at AssetMap, marketing. For those of you who know that TJ Hill, he certainly helped out. Don and I, we had meetings all the time about kind of creating this exciting beta program where we were able to engage with our users in a very direct way. So not only did we kind of have the typical surveys and the feedback kind of right in the app, and people are kind of rating their experiences. But Brad and a few people from my customer success team and the product team were able to reach out and speak directly with our users to understand, hey, what can we do better? What do you like about it? Is it quicker? We got some great testimonials. I think also we had a learning moment too. Don's smiling because he knows what I'm about to talk about. We put out a beta. And we have this expectation of, okay, it's a beta, things aren't kind of quite ready, and it's going to be ready, by the way, this February, for kind of everybody to dive in. But interestingly enough, we kind of put it out, and a key aspect of Asset Map, when you think of an Asset Map, you think of the people in the center, you think of the boxes, but you also think of the lines that kind of connect everything. So a lot of the feedback we were getting was, hey, I love the new UX, but what happened to the lines? And of course, we didn't take away the lines. We just didn't put it out yet. So I've been on the product team. I've been on Don, like, we got to get the lines. We got to get the lines. And of course, we have the lines. But it's one of those things that we just had so much fun, really, doing this beta program and kind of connecting with our customers, hearing what they have to say. And, I have some feedback, actually. I kind of pulled out one of the testimonials that really stuck out to me. You can read that, of course, but this is a testament to everything that we're trying to do here, right? Speed being the name of the game, but how do you do that? How do you get there? It's really just making things intuitive, having a great experience. And the thing about Asset Map that we all know is that it's for you, the financial professional, of course, but it's also for your clients. Your clients are looking at this. Your clients are going to be in those meetings. You're going to be presenting, and in those presentations and in those moments, you want to be able to deliver that advice with speed, with accuracy, and in a way that really wows your clients. So again, the key behind this whole webinar and everything we're doing, and really the whole direction of our new user experience, is to be able to deliver advice faster. So this is just kind of a sneak peek. I wanted to kind of give you just kind of a quick look before Don kind of takes the reins here. But I also want to know, because this beta program was so much fun for us, it's something that we're going to be doing again. So as we do these additional releases and as we kind of create and innovate over the course of 2021 and beyond, we really want to continue the beta program. So what I'm going to do very quickly is I'm going to launch a quick poll. So right on your screen, just answer whether you would like to be part of our beta program. Quick note about our beta program, we leave it open to how you give us information. Don Hilario, I want to give him a shout out. He actually created these awesome videos for us where he walked through the UX and all of us watched it. I mean, everybody from Asset Map, marketing, my team, it was great to really see how he interacted with it, where we can make improvements. And so we really love that. So thanks, Don. And we have a lot more to come from this beta program. We're thinking about, how we can kind of take it to the next level and really kind of keep that engagement up with our Asset Map community over 2021 and beyond. Okay, so thank you everybody that gave us an answer to that poll. I'm going to go ahead and close that. And we're back. And now for what you, of course, are really here for, not to hear me speak, but to see Asset Map in action. So I'm going to hand the reins over to Don, and he's going to take it away.
Great, thanks, Bobby. Appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Thanks again for coming. Just want to reiterate what Bobby had mentioned before I really jump in there, because I know that that's what everybody wants to see. They want to see the UX and not necessarily hear me. Thank you, sir. Show my screen. Can you see my screen now, Bobby? I just want to make sure that it's.
Yep.
Great, thank you. So taking a step back, yep, as Bobby said, this is a milestone. It really is for the organization. It was a really just a big project, and one that serves multiple purposes, which I'll get into in a bit. But we wouldn't be able to be at the state we're at without the help from marketing and sales, and the killer job that our developers and QA and prod internally did, and of course our beta candidates, right? We had so much help from so many users. The feedback was great, good, bad, and otherwise. That's what we want out of a process like this. We want honest feedback. And one of the things that makes Asset Map special, I think we all know, but I'll say it from my experience, is really our customers, our clients, and our community, right? There's a real engagement there, and hopefully we can take the lessons learned from this beta experience, and we can roll them into the next beta experience. And really, from my perspective, as head of product, that's how we want to be developing certainly these larger offerings and these bigger projects, right? We want your feedback. It matters. It's appreciated. We know that there's time involved on your side, so thank you all. Really appreciate that. Just wanted to say that before I kick things off. Now, before I jump into the UX here, just again, I guess a little bit more product background on the project itself. We classified this early on as our refresh, and it was needed for a lot of reasons. One of which was just to modernize the application, the look and the feel. Right, everybody loves Asset Map. We're in 2021. As we move forward, we want to try to stay current. Again, in not only look and feel, but technology. And so it began as, how can we revisit the UX and really bring the platform into alignment with our corporate brand? So as many of you may know or may not know, the Asset Map organization as a whole went through a rebranding a little over a year ago. New logo, new color schemes. That was a big project in and of itself, updating the corporate site. And now we're bringing the platform into alignment with the broader branding of the company itself. So we want a seamless experience, not just in app, but organizationally, because our brand's important, and that's how people know us, and we want to make sure that there's alignment there. But as we got into the planning and we really looked at it, and we looked at the existing architecture and the framework of the platform, it became evident that we wanted to go a bit bigger. And while from a user experience, and you'll see, I promise I won't just keep talking, but from a user experience perspective, it's going to be different, right? And that's what's going to jump out at folks, and that's what we want. But on the back end, there's a lot of heavy lifting too that went into this. We basically rebuilt the platform architecture, broke down the front end and the back end, rebuilt. It was just momentous, every page in React. And we're still going through and making tweaks and cleanup here, but we're really at a point where we're looking for folks to share their honest feedback with us on a much broader scale. We're confident in it, and on the back end, really the thing that doesn't get noticed much, but I think felt, is the performance. So not only is this an upgrade in terms of styling and in terms of your general experience in the application, a lot of the feedback that we received in the closed beta, the private beta over the last few months, was it feels faster. It seems quicker. And it is that it's significantly faster, and that was intentional. We continue to optimize, and we will. But it's important to know that this wasn't just a material change for us. We were looking forward and saying, okay, how can we really bring the platform into into 2021, new look, new feel, same asset map, same core functionality, but how do we streamline it? And in addition to how do we just make it faster? Because speed of information and speed of processing nowadays is so important, right? People have limited attention spans, and it's so important to be able to get to the information that you as an advisor need to really lead with advice. That was one of our big goals too. So hopefully, as I jump in here, you'll notice that, but keep an eye on it. And trust me, I'll be sure to call it out. And then, you know, as we open this up more generally to folks in the coming month, really looking forward to just honestly hearing your feedback, and hopefully you see the same benefits that we see. So I guess enough of me talking. I'm going to take a step back here. I could go on probably for an hour, again, showing you every page. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to save some surprises for you guys and girls when you get into the application, you know, to see for yourself. However, I'd like to focus on really just 4 or 5 time allowing of the major significant changes, and just talk a little bit about each. We're really here to give everyone a sneak peek, show you, you know, take you for the first drive in the new car, so to speak, and get you ready to really get in the application and hands-on. So without further ado, I'm just going to minimize this window here so I don't see it, and then okay, great. So just a quick check, Bobby, can you just confirm that you can still see my the application itself, asset map?
Asset Map Classic, as we're calling
Beautiful. Okay, that's right. That's
it.
right. Thank you. So yeah, asset map classic, as we're calling it. Oops, sorry, don't want to do that. Just trying to get rid of the technical difficulties here. There we go. Just moving this out of my way. So this is the asset map everybody knows and loves, and as Bobby just mentioned, it's classic asset map. That's what we've begun to call it, and that's because again we have a new evolution of the product, and it is asset map. Certainly once people's hands are in it and it becomes the norm, it will be asset map. So I guess a subtle distinction there. When you hear me mention classic, I'm referring to the current state of things in the application. So I'm going to jump in, and it's pretty simple. You can see here I'm opening up my preferences. I'm showing the beta UX. That's what we had classified it. Again, we've just gone through a process of several months of a private beta. As we roll this out more generally in February, we're really inviting folks in to an open beta of sorts. We want you to try it. We are cognizant of the fact that it's a change. So just so everybody knows, and we'll kind of set nerves at ease, there won't be any immediate change on day one. You'll still have access to classic asset map, but what you will have is the ability to jump into the new UX, take it for a spin, and start getting used to all the enhancements and features and the styling, and really again the performance and processing power that comes along with it. And there'll be plenty of I don't want to speak for Bobby, but I will. There'll be plenty of you know, email notification and leeway, and we'll keep everybody in the process as we move from introducing you to the new UX to really formalizing it and making it the standard default experience. So I'm going to jump in right here, and everybody can get their first look. So this is asset map proper. This is the new evolution. As you can see, it's fairly stark. I'm sure you noticed the color alignment again, just to bring that back to brand. So everything is tied in now, and every page was reimagined or revised with a goal of removing redundancy, removing, you know, for lack of a better word, maybe some of the clutter or the additional text. We really want every page to have a focus, and it all begins here on the dashboard where we're at. So same utility, just different presentation, let's call it, right? You can search, and you know, as you see, it's rapid, quite frankly, right? The results are almost instantaneous with the search. You can still access the household index, which for data mining, and I'm going to jump in there in just a minute, and you can add your household. Those are and continue to be the core functions of this page. Jumping into the household index here, again, hopefully what you're noticing is it's not completely different, and that wasn't our intention. The intention was to clean it up, slightly new feel, bring it into brand, but we have definitely made some optimizations and improvement here. We've made it much easier to save what we're calling layouts. So everyone has a default layout, and many people have their own custom views. So now that we've kept that in place, but what you can do now, actually more easily, is switch your default. So now you have the ability to create as many custom layouts as you want. What's a layout, you might be asking? So a layout is a combination of your filters for a view, right? It's your columns, your collection of data, as well as your sorting, and that all rolls up into a view, which we call a layout. And those layouts provide you, again, very quick access to the information that you need. So we haven't, generally broadened the scope of it, but what we have done is given the user more control, so that now you can create layouts, but you can also define your own default layout, and it's really as simple as just making it your default layout and updating it. So see the in-app feedback. We've taken opportunities as we've gone through these pages to add in-app feedback, so that it's more apparent as to what's going on. But if I jump from view to view, we'll see here, right? So here's my default view. Here's just a simple sample filter. Hopefully you're noticing just how quickly the data is being loaded. There's no spinners. It's almost instantaneous. We're still going through testing in terms of our performance metrics, but the baseline test that we have run is showing an average of 50% performance increase. So think about that. I mean, you're getting access, Asset Map was pretty performant to begin with, so we're getting a 50% increase in the turnaround time. And that matters, and hopefully it matters to you, while at the same time keeping a cohesive experience. So the power and performance is really seen in terms of that data mining ability. I think the household index is where you're really going to come to understand how much faster the application is. But as I jump back to the main screen here, you'll start to also see that the load time from page to page is now de minimis. It's sub-second. It's almost instantaneous. So for example, the next area I'm going to take you into is the add household. This is one of those features that we took the opportunity as a collective and based on feedback to streamline. So there's always been multiple ways to bring data into the application, manually, discovery, and via integrations. But there was general, at times, confusion and maybe just a little disjointedness into, okay, how do I bring information in via an integration, for example, right? Or how do I make the manual adding of a household, how do I speed that up, or really what's the value to it? So I'm going to take just a minute and jump into each of these to show everybody just how quick it is. So if you want to add a household now, the screen's going to look a lot different. Again, we've modified the feel, but not the utility of things. So we're cognizant we have, up to 10 integrations now, more coming. What you'll see now is it's just an easy transition into, okay, I know I need to create a household. My data's in this partner application. I'm already connected to that partner. How do I bring it in? Because I want that information quickly and easily. So it's really 2 clicks now. It's click on the integration and then select your provider. And from here, you can just do a search. You could do a blank search. You could do a character search if you're looking for a specific household, and boom. And again, hopefully you're noticing that there's subtle color exchanges here on the page, but we've also eliminated, again, just a lot of the extra on the page. That gives us space to play with in the future. It also hopefully streamlines the view for people, and again, really keeps the focus on what you're here to do. You're here to import a household, or you're here to view a household. So that's one change to the existing, not as dramatic as some others, but again, hopefully you're just seeing the intention with which we developed the new user experience. Now, when it comes to adding a household manually, I wanted to show this explicitly because there is a big difference here. We took the opportunity here to bring a visualization component into adding a household manually. So all the same data, but we wanted to make it a bit more user-friendly and a bit more engaging, right? Visually, because we are a visual platform. So it's I'll show you. It's so easy to add data, right? So we've taken the opportunity to eliminate maybe some barriers of entry. I can come in here and add Tim Tester, we'll call him, very quickly. Give Tim a date of birth, a gender if you prefer, or not to specify. That's totally fine. Add a member. I can add his wife. Call her Tammy. You can tab through these too. So a speed of entry as well has been optimized. So it's not, there's not as many clicks. And if you're if you're a tabber like I am, you can really move through this pretty quickly. Press a roll to that user. Partner, add member, you can add an entity. If you have to make an edit, for example, you click it. Hopefully you're noticing that there's no load time, that there's nothing stopping me here. I can jump right into any of these records. I can change Timmy's age. I could save him. I could delete. Oh, I didn't need to enter Tammy, or it was a mistake, whatever the case may be. Let's remove it. You can add an entity right from this screen, and then it's as simple as creating click household. So we've tried to keep familiarity of process, but also bringing in new experiences, more engaging UX, and what I'll just call more refined workflows. So I can create the household now, and we're going to see exactly what we're used to seeing. That aside, milestone workflow is actually a newer piece of functionality I'm not going to get into today, but happy to speak about or answer questions. And now we're in the household. So now we have Timmy, and he was entered just that quickly. Now folks are probably noticing here, which is where I wanted to move next, really big improvement in terms of navigation. So I'm just going to jump into another household for sake of data, because I'd like to show a full household in here. So now we're in the Joneses, right? Everyone's trying to keep up with these guys and girls. So household experience, left navigation, we've moved away from the Shazam bar. It was a bit limiting, and it also it took up valuable vertical height for reporting and other pages. So we've moved to a more standardized left navigation, and we've taken the opportunity to expose pages that have existed all along, and many people through feedback really didn't even realize. So I can open this up, and you can see we have a universal actions menu, which, so we've basically taken it from the kind of standalone right side hyperlink, and we've moved everything into one container, one place, so that it's very consistent, and you can develop that, that habit, that instinct over time to go over here. Household summary, you folks know most of these, but watch how quick I can just jump within a household to say a report, balance sheet report. I can jump right into the policy summary. I can jump right into the beneficiaries, right? So there's no wasted time or effort here. You can just simply move about within a household with one click to just about, I would say maybe 90%, maybe 95% of the underlying application pages that, again, some folks weren't even aware. Some folks thought they were just printed reports. They're not, they're interactive, right? And that takes us to the next, my next point is you can interact with these live. Folks may be noticing the Shazam bar. That's what we call that. So the dynamic filter that's become a staple of the asset map itself, that's now available within all of our core reports. So the balance sheet report, the policy summary report, the beneficiary report. We wanted to create a consistency of experience in the classic application. Some have pick lists, some don't have the dynamic filtering. We wanted, again, to take a step and bring it into alignment. So if you're speaking with your client and you're having a discussion about their financials and their balance sheet, now at the click of a button, you can start very quickly bringing everything in, right? A holistic view. Let me see everything that's in my household at one time. Here's all of my instruments. Or if you're going to have that very pointed discussion that pertains to one individual, Mr. Jones or Mrs. Jones, you can have that now, right? There's no wasted time with filtering. It's point and click. It's point and click. We've made updates as well to the, I won't get too into it, but to the marker tool. So everybody's favorite on-screen drawing tool. So you can draw with the marker, point out topics of discussion, right? We need to talk about X. We need to talk about Y. Quickly draw attention to those things. We've actually taken an enhancement here, and you can customize the color of the marker. So this was a request that quite a few folks had. We took an opportunity to put it in there. So you can see that was kind of a bronze. It's maybe not the prettiest color, but it's as simple as selecting what you want and then closing it, sorry. And then you have your own custom color. So all the hotkeys still work. You can move those around. Just another example of the, our mindset and what we're trying to accomplish. Ease of illustration, quick access to data, easy navigation throughout the app to things that really matter. You can, of course, close this left nav or leave it open. We have hover overs, financials. And now I'm driving us right into our report generation or our report center. It's new. The look and feel is definitely new. I wanted to just spend a minute or two on this page, if I may. There's more coming here. So what we've done is we've taken the existing layout and we've put it in what we're calling a table of contents view. We had a lot of feedback that the existing view was, while effective, maybe a bit confusing and not the best display. We've streamlined this a bit. You have all the same access to all the same reports. Some on-screen feedback here, dynamic metrics. So the number of reports selected at any given time and the estimated page count. So now as you're building out a report, comprehensive or otherwise, you have a general feel for how large is this going to be, right? Am I going to overload my client? Asset Map's about simplistic elegance, right? How do we keep it simple but get the point across? Do I really need a 9-page report, or do I need a 2-page report? So that's where we've started. We're going to move on and enhance this page with sortability and the ability to order the not only visually align top down. So I want these more important reports at the top, but I also want them sequenced a certain way in the output. That's an enhancement to come. It will be post the initial rollout, but just to let everybody know, we're thinking about that and we're aware of how we can make this even more usable. And I know I'm coming up here on just over 20 minutes and I want to be time conscious, but I really also would be remiss if I did not jump into everyone's, the crown jewel of the application, which is the asset map. So again, we've taken caution here not to change things. It works. We're not looking, the asset map is, the asset map report, the interactive asset map is asset map. But we just the same mindset. Let's make it a little bit faster. Maybe we can make it a little more intuitive. You're probably noticing the colors have been updated. Again, that's about bringing the application into alignment with the broader corporate brand. May take a little bit of getting used to. The nice thing is, because of the architecture and the flexibility we have, we can easily make those tweaks and make changes as needed based on feedback. So it's an iterative experience that we've created here. But there's two things specifically aside from the lines. So the lines are there, as Bobby mentioned. It was really an interesting experiment, if you will, although unintended, is we left the lines out, and then people instinctively just told us, no, we need the lines. So it was validation that that wasn't right, that wasn't clutter, that wasn't superfluous, that was valuable. And because of that, we had planned to put it in there, but if we hadn't, we would have brought it back anyway. What we have done is removed some of the simple kind of unnecessary lines. Try to just make it a little cleaner and a little more precise. We've added a right hand, what we're calling our quick menu, for easy access to some of the actions over here. We've already had user feedback expressing a request to insert the add functions. So those are things that we can and will and plan on exploring. This was really a test. Do people like this? So now it's a simple right click from anywhere on the page. If you're over here and you want to show the legend, great, you can show the legend. You can do it from wherever you are. It follows you, and that's a bit of a test for us. Can we expand that to other areas of the application? Can we make that user experience that much more precise and cohesive on other pages? Really looking forward to people getting in there and trying that out. And then one of the really big adds, in my opinion, is this concept of a larger household view, right? As folks know, you have a single view, a single user view. Show me all of the primaries, assets or instruments. And then we have the dual view. But now what we have is a household view, right? So now I want to see Mr., Mrs., and Junior Jones, or I want to see everybody in one place. And you'll see that the asset map is adjusting based on, again, who I'm selecting. So we've moved from kind of this limited view, which really is intent and purposeful, but responded to requests to add this household view that says just, I want to see it all. And again, we'll continue to iterate, but this is our first step into a broader view that we plan to support, just like any other view. So you'll be able to save asset map layouts and print this view out if you deem necessary, or stick with the standards until you're comfortable with it. But just another example of the speed and the intuitiveness. I was going to make up a word there, but I didn't, of the application. So we're 30 minutes in, and again, I do want to be conscious. Again, I could show you every page in the application. They've all been revamped, all the user preferences, the discovery pages, they've all been restyled. We've intentionally tried to stick as close as we can to what we have because it works. But we really wanted to just kind of modernize it and really speed things up. And I think we've made really, really great strides in that. And hopefully, once you're in there and folks are able to play with it, they'll agree and they'll see, they'll really see the value. And I'm looking forward to hearing back from everybody. So with that, I'm going to take a pause myself. And Bobby, I guess this is probably a good time to open it up to some Q&A or answer some general questions, if I could send it back to you.
Yeah, for sure. I was just wondering, do we have, I think because we have a little time, would it be worth maybe just jumping over to target maps real quick? I think that's an area that
Sure.
folks are certainly use and might be very much interested in. So
Well,
I'll
the
let
nice
you
thing is we can get there
guys
quickly.
know.
So, right. So again, we can certainly jump into target maps. Hopefully, again, you saw the speed of performance there. Subtle changes we've made here. We didn't, if it's not broken, don't fix it, was really the approach we took for this step. So still drag and drop configuration here. We've removed some of the things you may notice is we've taken kind of some of the superfluous text away, or not superfluous, but maybe redundant. If you jump into the asset map, again, no sudden changes, but we have certainly restyled, brought things up in terms of brand, and taken away some of the language, just the default text, shifted things up to just create a cleaner view on the page, if you will. So, Bobby, I don't know if there was anything specific that you wanted me to point out other than, just kind of giving
No, I
folks
just wanted to give it,
see
just
it.
wanted to give it a to do. I think target maps are certainly my favorite part of the application, but maybe that's just personal.
I don't think you're alone.
And of course, cash flow it will certainly exist, certainly still there. We didn't, so I want to be very, very clear. We didn't take anything away. I want to reiterate, somebody's asking about the lines, Dell. We did not take those lines away. They're available. On the screen, though, it's funny because when I switch monitors, some of my colors on there are weird, and like the lines just don't look as sharp. And then I move it over, and the lines are there. So just as everybody might want to think about and remind themselves that sometimes it's just a matter of tweaking your colors on your screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take control of the screen here, if it lets me.
Just wanted to give a quick due to the cash flows themselves. So to reiterate while you're taking back control, Bobby, yes, we've been careful not to take away. So again, if it's not broke, don't fix it. We're just putting a new engine in the car, modernizing the look and feel, and then we have big plans as we move forward. And this new architecture, front end and back end, is really going to be key to our speed of development and our optimization of the platform, and ultimately the end user experience.
Perfect. Go ahead and share my screen. Are you seeing the Q&A screen, Don?
I'm seeing it now. Yes, I am.
Beautiful. Okay, so we had a lot of really great questions come in. I'm just going to be kind of pulling that out, see if there's any that I answered that maybe Brad or anybody else didn't get a chance to do. First of all, I want to say that we got a lot of feedback, or really ideas on new things that we could be adding. So right in our application, which is also still there, you have the ability to leave us feedback and leave us basically product suggestions. So we use an application that kind of aggregates that. Don can probably speak to it better than I can. It goes directly to the product team, where you actually have the ability to give us that suggestion. So a lot of these suggestions, don't worry, they're not gonna go away. Somebody on my team will personally make sure that all of them get into ProdPad, get in front of Don. But I don't want to speak for you, but I think that's the best way to drive our roadmap.
It's a great point, Bobby, and that was something that I overlooked. So thank you. Yeah, I would agree. So for folks who are familiar or are not, underneath the in-app, under your user preferences, there's a feedback link. Everything there goes directly into our ProdPad, which is our feedback portal. Please feel free to add comments, suggestions, questions. It also will give you the ability, by the way, to look at other suggested ideas that, you know, we're kicking around for future um, road mapping and prioritization. It shows 9 at a time. Don't worry, we have more than 9 ideas, I assure you. But the more often you go there, the more ideas you'll be exposed to, and the more feedback we can get from you in terms of what really matters. So, yep, please go to the feedback link early and often, and that will get disseminated not only to myself, but the broader product team and CS as well.
Mhm. Thanks, Don. One just kind of side note, I should have mentioned this at the beginning. Of course, the webinar will be recorded and will be available. We actually have all of our webinars available on our website, and we could even follow up with you afterwards with the recording if anybody had to jump or didn't have a chance to make it. So most of the questions that are coming in, Don, if you have access to, are product questions, of course, of our roadmap. What do we got? What do we got coming up? It's funny, Don and I were talking about maybe we should do this kind of once a quarter and really talk about the roadmap, potentially do it within kind of the beta group community. So we're toying around ideas. We really just want to be more connected with you guys, even more than we already are, to get some of this, because there's some great feedback and great product suggestions coming through here. I can't read them fast enough. Don, maybe anything in there that you can shed light on.
I agree. I agree. I'm trying to keep up. I mean, it's certainly in terms of roadmap. We you know, we have some big projects. We're actively really diving into, you know, what I guess we're code naming our red light, green light, or our indicators, which is going to be at least right now the vision is a quasi AI tool that will surface opportunities quickly to the advisor in a visual manner. So, and not only that, but align it with our own kind of core best practices and 6Ls framework. So that's to come. That's going to be a big lift, but I think a valuable one. It's again, it's another project geared toward how can we surface valuable information quickly to the advisor, and not only that, but let them share it from a team or an organizational perspective. And how can we bubble that up for conversation, right? Because it may or may not be an issue at the end of the day. We're not trying as an application or a platform to say this is an issue. What we're trying to do is bubble up potential issues before they are, or potential unknowns, and then let the advisor lead that discussion with the client and set those expectations. So more to come on that. I mean, that's one of our larger immediate initiatives. When it comes to enhancements, you know, we have a slew of 10 to 15 upcoming right now that we're finalizing, you know, among leadership in terms of prioritization. But there's certain enhancements that we'd like to make. I mentioned a couple of them in terms of the report center. We're looking at a new feature to expose the report history. So an ability to go in and see which reports have been generated when within a household, and not only that, but pull them back up and print or view them if necessary. We're actively exploring client engagement functionality. So how can I share if I choose an asset map with my client, right? How can I, as an advisor or a financial professional, how can I invite my clients into the experience, and also kind of keep guardrails on there? So we're building out a mini roadmap around what I'll call, you know, client-centric or client engagement features. So there's a lot going on, lots of conversations. I promise too, I will go through the list of questions here, which is great and long, and I will do my very best to respond. I know Brad and Jordan are doing a valiant job trying to keep up, but I'll certainly do my best to respond to each of them after the call.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Don. You know, I think we're certainly getting a lot of ideas, and we certainly want them. You know, this is a great forum, and I would love to do this again with you, Don, and maybe do this once a quarter where we kind of talk about what's coming out. But also what I'm seeing here is just a lot of engagement from our users. Engagement's the name of the game, right? Somebody said that. Engagement, Jamie Chavez. So there's engagement's the name of the game, not only for you guys and of course for your clients, but for us as well. Don and I, you know, we're having a lot of fun being able to do this, and like I said, there's a lot of great feedback coming in. Also, just want to reiterate, get over to that ProdPad, get over to putting in your suggestions and feedback, that's a great way, right? That goes directly to us, and that will allow Don's team and my team to push Don's team with what we're hearing. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use all these questions for Don's team the next meeting we have.
I'll have an answer for every one of them.
We sure will. All right. So we're going a little over. I just wanted to end with just some upcoming events that are just right around the corner here. Of course, we have another webinar coming up at the end of this week. Oh, I don't know. These GoToWebinar stuff gets in the way. We have another webinar coming up on the 28th. This one's going to be great. So delivering kind of financial advice to family members. Of course, our very own Adam Holt will be on there, and we have some great guest speakers on there. So don't miss that one. We also have our quarterly boot camp coming up. So just by attending today, you're actually going to get our steepest discount. So if you're interested in coming to our boot camp, we have a discount code available for there. Now we have certain companies that kind of have their own kind of training. So if you have your own training with us, don't worry about this. But this is for our general audience that wants to come to these boot camps. They're great. I remember when I first got here, that was kind of the first thing I did was attended one of these, and it's just such a wealth of information. And Adam and our very own LJ McHenry does just such a great job, and there's so much you get out of it from an asset map perspective, but also just from like an advice delivery perspective. So couldn't really tout it more to attend. But that's it. I wanted to thank everybody for taking the time out of their day to join Don and I today. This was fun. This was something that we definitely want to do again and more often. As I mentioned, I think just kind of the engagement that we have with our users, keeping that up into 2021 and beyond is going to be great for Asset Map and of course for you guys. It's a great relationship we have.
Well said.
All right, so everybody have a great rest of your week. We'll see you at the next webinar. I'm sure you got plenty of Zoom meetings to get to like we all do. So enjoy the rest of your week and have a great 2021.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate the time. Looking forward to catching up with everybody, maybe even in person one of these days. Take care.